Montreal, you're not giving me a break. It was just 2 days ago when we made this Terrifier Art the Clown Montreal Canadiens video highlighting just how hot the Habs are. If you had missed it, this video went over how there were 4 Montreal Canadiens on the NHL's Team of the Month for March. Well, we are diving back into the Team of the Blank lists because the newest one from Smash Bros 13 was just posted onto the R-Hockey sub, and my goodness, it's looking even better for the Habs. In fact, this is a dual video between the Canadiens and the Canucks, because if you're a Canucks fan, you might be interested in all the conversation over here as well. Let's take a look at the best team of the week for March 27th to April 2nd, as well as the worst team of the week for the same span of time. My goodness, man, you can already see the logos. The 3 best players in the NHL for the week of March 27th to April 2nd were Cole Caulfield on the left wing, Nick Suzuki down the middle, and Yuri Slafkovsky. Now, look at the numbers over here. Yes, it's true, Cole Caulfield did technically get outscored by Macklin Celebrini. Celebrini had a 13.3 game score metric, courtesy of HockeyStatCards.com over the past week. Cole Caulfield had a 13.24. Nick Suzuki had a 13.45, so he was technically the first name amongst this group of guys. But the absolute number 1 name, who is totally tearing down the walls, it's Yuri Slafkovsky. 35.99? What the hell? He did this in 1 week's worth of games? I don't think I've ever seen one individual game score metric reach 35.99 in 1 week. Slafkovsky doubled the overall game score of these top guys. Caulfield, Suzuki, Celebrini, they're all in the 13th overall range. Slafkovsky gets 35.9. What the hell, dude? That's ridiculous. Going back over to the rest of the names, though, you have Taylor Hall, Stankoven, Jackson Blake, all out of Carolina. You have David Pastrnak, Celebrini, Will Smith, Konechny, Owen Tippett. So quite a few duos and trios, I guess you can say, on the forward side of things. All these guys were able to produce some pretty significant game score metrics. On defense, the 6 best defensemen in the NHL were Lane Hutson, who was the best defenseman, Chris Letang, Sam Malinsky, Charlie McAvoy, Emil Lilleberg, and Rasmus Andersson. Man, it's nice to see Rasmus Andersson on this list. He did get off to a pretty rough start during his career with the Golden Knights. Sam Malinsky has been stepping up big time in the absence of Cale Makar. That guy's out for a while, so Malinsky is now putting on the production. Chris Letang, he's been playing very well as of late. Him and Erik Karlsson, the fact that they actually have been reviving their careers this season is pretty ridiculous. But you can't ignore number 1, 13.43 game score metric score for Lane Hutson, who is the number 1 defenseman of the past week. Slafkovsky, Caulfield, and Suzuki was the top line of the last week, and the top goalie of the last week was Jakub Dobeš too. 6.07, he was the best amongst the rest. Igor Shesterkin with a 3.76 was the second best goalie in this sample. The team of the week's looking pretty good for Montreal Canadiens fans, man. I just wanted to go out there and take a look at the Reddit. Does anybody acknowledge the fact that Slafkovsky seriously went out there and had a 36 rating? Oh, okay, never mind. Not 36. 9.82. Okay, Smash Bros 13 really did screw it up here. That makes more sense. Was that his month score by accident? It's the Kucherov month score from the previous post. Ah, that makes sense. So, unfortunately, Juraj Slafkovsky, sorry, we just got clickbaited, my friends. He didn't get a 36 game score in the span of a week. He had 9. So, technically below Macklin Celebrini, more in line with the David Pasternaks and the Taylor Halls of the world. This 35.99 metric was the Kucherov score from the team of the month in the last post. So, we can calm it down with Juraj. Still pretty good, though. Still the top right wing, so we can keep that at bay. With that said, let's shift over to the Vancouver Canucks side of things and head over to the worst team of the week, because there is a conversation to have about these names as well, and it's definitely not nice. The worst forwards in the NHL were Adam Klapka, Luke Kunin, and Luke Evangelista. Not a good week for guys named Luke. Vinny Hinostroza, Ross Colton, Simon Holmstrom, Brennan Othman, Tyson Jost, and Andrei Burakovsky round out the middle six. And then you have Cole Reinhardt, JT Compher, and David Perron out of the Red Wings organization as the maybe not as worst forwards in the league the past week. On D, the worst defenseman of the past 7 days was Nick Hague, followed by Brett Kulak and Braden Pahal. Philip Hronek is also listed here, as is Elias Pettersson and Kevin Ball. So you got 2 Flames, 2 Canucks. It's honestly kind of interesting to me, seeing the fact that Philip Hronek is on this list. I'd say that a lot of Canucks fans have been pretty satisfied as of late with the way Hronek has been producing points and the way that he's been going out there and playing. Elias Pettersson being mentioned on this list, that's not too much of a surprise in my opinion, honestly. You take a look at D. Petey, Tom Wielander, Zeev Buium. These guys have been struggling defensively over the past few weeks. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. They're all young guys. They're all gonna go through some growing pains. It takes about 300 games for an NHL defenseman to feel comfortable in the league after all, courtesy of Chris Pronger. And so, having these young guys here, making their mistakes, it's fine, especially when you consider the fact that there's a lot of swagger and very visible, easy to see growth that is happening in front of our eyes for these young dudes. Meanwhile, for Philip Hronek, it's like, hey, he's playing on the worst team in the league, he's producing points, so I think Canucks fans will give him a pass. Meanwhile, Kevin Lankinen was listed as the second worst goaltender in the league behind Logan Thompson, so Washington falling off a little bit, not being able to string together the best results. Logan Thompson not being able to make the saves he needs to make either. Kevin Lankinen has been hung out to dry so much, so I can understand why he is on here too. The guy's numbers have been terrible this season, but I don't think anybody's really saying that this season has been his fault. It's more so a symptom of the fact that he plays for the Vancouver Canucks, that Lankinen's numbers are in 880 territory. I find it interesting how Brett Kulak is one of the worst defensemen in the league, but Sam Malinsky is doing so well that he is one of the best. How many guys are shared between these two teams? I mean, you don't see any Blackhawks on the best team. You don't see any Montreal Canadiens on the worst team. I guess you can talk about some of the other teams over the past few weeks to really articulate a point here, but ultimately, this is the way the cookie crumbles. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the entire Canadiens top line, their top goalie, and their top defenseman being the best left wing, center, right wing defense, and goalie in the NHL the past 7 days? And what are your thoughts on some of these Canuck dudes being labeled on the worst team of the week as well? Thoughts in the comment section below about Hronek, Pettersson, Lankinen, Suzuki, Caulfield, Slafkovsky, Dobesh, and Hutson. I hope you enjoyed this Swedish Roll 9, and bye.